Education and Training Best Practices for Charting Package Tutorial Series Video number 5, Intraday Workspaces, Scanners, Alerts, Setups, and Charting. Make sure you've watched video 4 first. Many of the scans that are in the Intraday Workspace were explained in detail in the End of Day Workspace, but they are different scan tabs, as the end of days are referencing we're in a certain condition, and the intradays are looking for that condition change live. So the end of day has to be totally done different. They don't work the same. If it's after hours, you want to run on the end of day workspace, and intraday you want to run on the Intraday Workspace. But we will not go into as much detail about what the scanners are looking for on the ones that are repeated from the end of day. So please watch video 4 first. Video 4 also spends a lot of time on the bull and bear zone scanners. First 20 minutes it talks in depth about those, and those worked exactly the same intraday here as they do over there. We'll give you just a brief review of that. That was the first 20 minutes of video 4, was doing nothing but talking about the bull and bear zone scanners, and that is part of our free standing program for people that don't use the algo charts to just scan for the bull and bear zone end of day or intraday. So you want to watch the first 20 minutes of video 4 to find out more about that. Thanks for watching our video, and be sure to subscribe to our channel while you're here. And if you're not already a member of our Active Trader Setups trading package, be sure to check out the other videos that are available here on our YouTube training channel. And visit ActiveTraderSetups.com, where you can find out more about our trade setups, our trigger prices on the charts, multiple day price advances. Good for day trading and swing trading. We have 4 trade setups, 2 long and 2 short. Trigger prices are right on the charts real time before they trigger. You'll have a display like this will appear on the chart when you're 2 factors away from triggering a long or a short. In this case it's a long, saying we're 2 factors away, and if it's a short it'll say short watch. And then we have the next level up or down in the current level we're at when you're looking for that retracement alert and you want to get a confirmation on the reversal right on the chart at all times. Our package comes complete with pre-built charts, scanners, and training. You can scan for end of day, intraday, or just watch your charts for day trading or swing trading. We offer a free 14-day trial offer, which you really got to cram and study to get all this in 14 days, or we offer a 30-day. The 14-day comes complete with free data through an arrangement we made with a data provider to give you a 14-day free trial on their product at the same time you're trying ours. Also, you can do a 30-day free trial if you already have your own data plan that has historical tick data. You can use your data plan and we'll give you a 30-day trial. So head over to ActiveTraderSetups.com. Take a look at our products page. There's a lot of the charts on there for you, as well as under contact us you can fill out a registration for the free trial offer. Okay, we're going to be covering the Intraday Workspace, scanners, alerts, setups, and charting. And what we have open here is Intraday Medium ATR scan tabs. Now, if you're trading lower price stocks, you will want to use the SM ATR scan tabs, which basically is exactly the same scans. It's just not looking on the 100 algo factors. It's looking on the smaller algo factors, more aimed at those lower price stocks. They're already pre-built for either kind of trader you might be, and you might be scanning low price and higher price stocks for swing trading, and you'll need to use the smaller SMATR for that. When you first open this workspace, it may, if you're using a one screen monitor, tell you that you have some things outside the window. You will want to tell it to put them inside your window, and what will show up that you're not seeing now is exactly the same thing that shows up on the end of day. It's this pre-market after hours chart. That so if you're in the mornings, you're doing your load for the day and you want to look at some pre-market charts while those are loading, it has that built in there for you. But it's on a second screen. If you're running a two-screen monitor, it'll be fine. If you're running a one screen, that's what the prompt is about. Everything else is contained what you see right here. The reason the charts are in here is if you're wanting to look deeper into a chart that you might find on a pre-market scanner or so forth. You want to load these scanners first of all prior to the market opening. Now, you can come over and do a little bit of a load intraday, and I do that. You also want to do the same thing I was teaching you on the end of day. You want to decide which of these best suits what you're looking for. And if you're swing trading or day trading, that's different things you would be interested in. And if you do both, you may, especially on your end today, you may want to look at different things for whatever your purpose is. And you'll learn as you go. You know, this is like a college class. There's a lot of information. If you're trying to cram this in 14 days, it's a lot to learn. You got a lot of time to put in. It is an excellent system. It slows you down, gives you discipline, keeps you in trades longer, keeps you from getting in them too early many times. It's something that never proceeds. And a lot of guys will just say, hey, I'm going to go on and sign up and I'm going to run this for 60 days till I learn it. And that works too. You can just proceed beyond, because it takes longer than 14 or even 30 days to really master this and to learn. The best way to learn is watch as many of the chart videos, the chart talk videos as you can, just talking about the interaction of the charts. That's how you're going to learn to trade them. You got to learn to find them to look at, and that's what the scanners are all about, and that's what this video is teaching. Two cautions. One, if you're going to play around modifying this, make sure you go in and do a save as and rename it. And I've been teaching everybody rename them my this and my that, so that you'll know that it's something you created, and it'll also group all the things you've created in one part of the list here. And then when you make modifications, you won't mess up the master, so to speak. And then be sure when you build your own, you get them like you want them, you save them and do like I've done up above, put back up and rename another copy of what you're using daily in case you really mess something up. Now, the one major thing that can mess something up is leaving symbols in this list when you shut this down. Many of these are slow to load. You got to give them time. Even with a fast computer, it's intensive math going on, going out and calculating all these individual items off of tick charts, and it takes quite some time to compile the data. And on a slow computer, it's even worse. And when you're trying to install these, it'll say loading right here, and you need to give it plenty of time to load. If you start trying to change tabs while it's loading, you're probably going to shut yourself down. It sometimes will pop up the system that says you're not responding. Do you want to shut down or do you want to continue to wait? If you will click continue to wait, it won't shut you down and it will continue to work. So let it get finished with what it's doing. Some of the end of day scanners will load a lot faster than others, and the intraday, you need to get these loaded up pre-market, because if you come back over here in the middle of the day and you try to load 100 symbols that normally take 10 or 12 minutes to load, they may take 30 minutes to load, and you virtually can't go back to your trading window. You could still use the charts that are in here, but mostly you're not going to be able to navigate. You try to click a chart and it highlights itself in white like the system's trying to lock up, and it probably is. So be careful with that. So that's why you want to preload. Of course, you don't want to load all these tabs up pre-market. I'm going to tell you what the difference in them are, and you'll find your favorites. And I generally, in the afternoon, if you're day trading, this one here is excellent to load. It runs off regular candles, 5 minute, 10 minute. It's a little more tolerant about loading intraday because it's not running off of tick data, and you're going in here trying to find stocks that are consolidating. A lot of times, the stocks will consolidate for a while, mid-morning to early afternoon. If you're trying to find those later day trades going up or down, this scan can find those stocks for you coming out of the consolidation. So I generally load me some symbols in this about 1:30 in the afternoon, and I'll leave it alone for 10 or 12 minutes, ever how long it takes. I'll let it get through loading. The first tab is on the left, where I've moved back to now, and these are not in the end of day. So I'm going to explain what the tabs do. I'm just going to load a symbol, see what we get. You have intraday F25, 50, and 100 factor alerts here, and it shows force 25, 50, and 100. The reason they're shown twice is something we built into our system to keep from getting duplicate alerts. Ninja doesn't have the best way to come up to do an alert. You get an alert on an indicator crossover, and then during the next bar, as the price wiggles around, maybe that indicator changes level, and then it comes right back up to where you were looking at it at. It gives you a new alert, and it gives you a new alert, and it gives you a new alert over and over and over again. So if we're scanning for the force right here to go green, and it goes green, as price fluctuates a little bit right here, it may cause it to go below green and back to green intrabar, and every time it goes back green intrabar, it will alert you again. And finally closes this bar, and the next bar, same thing happens again as it continues and moves around. If it happens to make it fall below the green level, then every time it intra-bar triggers it again, it'll send this alert out. So that's why we have these built, and part of the alert indicator package has force 1 and force 1. 1 is 1 bar ago. This is the current bar, and we always run all these on a bar closed, so we're not interested in intra-bar jerking around. We want to know what the final outcome is. So this is run on bar closed, and this is programmed in to be a previous bar. And when you build these columns, Ninja doesn't allow you to go back a bar. So that's why we have these in here, and this is strictly doing a crossover. Your alerts will show up with these names in them. Your source will show up the name of your tab, and then over in the message is it takes this name, here's the message, has the symbol, the name, which is what you see here, and then the price that it triggered, and then you have your time column as well there, so you can see when they come off. Always make sure you're sorting these by time in your alert logs. Sometimes somebody will move one and they can't figure out why they're not getting any new alerts, and they've got it sorted and they're looking at 8:30 a.m. The alerts are set up for the 25. It's called solo crossover. It's crossing up, and the 50's not strong. The 50's not green. This is the 25 crossing with the 50. The 25's coming back into the green force. The 50 was probably already there. Then you have a 50 solo, 50 with a 100, 50 crossing up, 100 already there, and then you have the 100 by itself, and then it goes in both directions. These are all priorities at medium. and they're set that way for a reason. Your tab over in your trading workspaces have SM or have medium in the description, and this will be one of those that come in the medium tab, and you have another tab that says low, and that kind of separates these alerts out by what I consider to be a higher priority. Maybe if you're scanning something on a daily, it's in the low column. So all this does is look for force, and if you type a symbol correctly, you'll get an answer. I had Apple in there wrong. What you're interested in is the current bar, so it'll tell you if the force is strong or not. If you're looking at it, you don't have to be looking at it, but if you happen to be looking at it, you can sort these columns. We already have this also built in the regular trading for you to have some stocks that you can do this on without having to come back to this tab. This is an example of where CAT had the force with it on the 25, and intra bar before the close, it wiggled around enough not to have it, and that's why we have this in there for you. That's all this does, is look for that. The next column, this is a 10, a 25, and a 50, and always I have the 10 turned off on alerts. It's never enabled. The 25 and the 50 is. If you're trading or scanning much lower ATR stocks and you want those included in these alerts, you can put them in. Or if all you are scanning is smaller ATR stocks, you can turn those on or use the SM ATR workspace. The reason they're not turned on is because you will get way too many alerts to ever look at on these higher priced stocks. But I built it in the system, so if somebody wants it on, you can turn it on. Now these columns you don't have to look at. They are, a few of them have this just tells you it's uptrending or downtrending, this line green or red, and then the others are set up for the scanner. What this is looking for is the crossover, the actual confirmed price change, just like you see here. When this went from red to green and plotted this price, this alert goes off. It's set for 25 and 50s. So we have the information loaded here based on the price and based on our trend shifting from green to red or red to green, 10s, 25s, and 50s, and then we also have your blue ones. It will not send an alert unless it's a double X cross. So when this initially crossed, it gave a double X cross and alerted. Occasionally, just like where this turned, right here's a prime example, and that's the reason I have this chart up, is sometimes when you've had this base and you're trying to get the cross, you'll get a switch back to red. So the second alert will not go off because you only had the double X cross on the very first one, and 2 hours later it recrossed from 10:30 all the way to 12:30. This is a low ATR stock, but it will only go off the first time, and that's built into there for a reason. Is when you got all of these going on, when you went red to green here, you didn't get a double X cross, so you didn't get that alert. When you went from here, green to red, it was not a double X cross. They're both blue down there, you can see that, but it wasn't a double X cross. A double X cross will look like a blue X. So it's designed that way to get the chop stocks out of your alerts. This one did. So all of these alerts, there's not a single double X that you got right here. It did give a double X right here as it tried to come up and turn that green and then reversed it. I don't like alerts when the price is below the line either. I want to be above the line when I get my alert. So if I get an alert and I come look at a stock and it is below the line, Actually, this double X went off when it came back down. That's when the double X came off on the bar close here as it reversed. I don't like alerts when the stock's not where it should be, and because I got a choppy looking candles here. Now this stock did break out. I'm actually, the time I'm making this video, I'm long calls overnight on this. It broke out with some good news, and it broke out in the middle of the day, and I found it right here and picked the stock up just about this time of day and did a nice day trade on it. Actually, it was the best day trade of the day, that particular day, and went ahead and took a position into calls because of where it was on the daily, and the daily had a resistance area up in this area, and it fooled around with that the next morning and then broke on out again. So this stock, from the time it alerted here with that news, has run about $4. That's about 5% in 2 days. So I took a position because the options were not super. If they're overpriced, I don't buy them, and I want to be very, very, I want to get in the money almost 50 cents after I make my trade, and I'm well deep in the money now. I also was able to buy this with over 8 days to run on it. The crossover, though, you want your double X, and that's what you're looking for. Now, what this can tell you when you get a stock that's uptrending, you can't see the blue one behind here, but it's not down here. So both the indicators are at the top. This is two different indicators. They're both at the top. You got a yellow and you don't have anything down here, then you've still got this blue but behind it. So it's got one blue one as it's coming across here. When you get this drop down to blue, this is a momentum gain. Here it is again, a momentum gain. So if you're watching a stock and you're trying to say, I'd really like to get back in this, and you see that blue already up at the top, and then you get to push down away from the direction of the trade, you're gaining momentum. And that is true on a regular candle chart. We use the same indicator on the regular candles. This is part of the bull zone break, but this is the momentum. The double X cross momentum break works on both type candles. So if you got the bull and bear zone charting package, this is what we're using in there as well, part of that package. Now going forward, this next alert is the same exact alert. It has the word focus in it. It has the word focus in the name of the alerts when they come across your alert scanner. They're that way for a reason. Let's say you want to, none of these have sounds in them. Including the focus alerts. They work exactly the same. They're for your short list. If you may be scanning here 100 stocks, and you may have a group that you want to scan here of 15 stocks that you've really been watching, and you want to make sure you see them. One thing, it adds the word focus across your message here. The second thing you can do is you can take this, go to your alerts, go down to your actions, and add a sound. Just by simply saying add, okay, there's your sound. So if you want to alert a sound with your focused short list, you can do that. That's why it's separated. And just click apply when you do that, and then okay. So that's the second reason it's in a separate one. This again, exact same thing. Intraday, F10, 25, 50 zone alerts, email. How to set up the email is a little complicated, not real bad. Ninja has a tutorial on it. The Gmail is real easy. I couldn't figure out Outlook, how to get it to work, but you can use a Gmail. You have to have a sending account. But you go into your alerts, you go down, and you can add and change this to share a message. No, that's not the one I want. Okay, it is share a message, but if you have, it says no share service set up. If you got your email set up, you can select your email from the list. I got an email in here, so I'm going to grab that and come in, and this is just what I named that particular email. And you can send yourself an email of the alert to your cell phone. So if you want to take a day trade out on a job and there's a couple of stocks you're watching, you could do that. You could even send you something on something you're in, and maybe you're like, okay, I'm in a big long-term day trade or swing trade, and if it crosses the 25, I want to know about it because I want to get out. Maybe you got in the trade on a 50 or a 100 run, and you've got a lot of profit made, and you say, okay, first time it rolls over on the 25, I'm getting out. So when the red zone alert goes off on the 25, sends you an email, and you can log into your digital trading platform and close your trade. So far, other than our force being our first one, these three are all the same. You can add a sound to this one, and this is for email purposes. Other than that, there's no difference in what these are looking for in the alerts they send out. And again, the zone alerts, this is our trend shift pivot zone. So we're looking for the stock that's selling off and turning back up, or vice versa. If you're swing trading, you want to be on the applicable swing trade ATR for your stocks that you're watching. If you're day trading and you're scanning a 50 crossover, it may be good to know tomorrow, but if it's late in the afternoon, it's probably not going to make that run. Now you can get a big move early in the morning, get the 50 crossover, go back and visit and take off again. This is Caterpillar on a 50, and I knew where it was because I'm in the trade. Now it's got the signal here. This is the alert. 140.25 right now will turn this green on the 50. The 25 many times is your day trading factor. I'm actually in this trade off the 100. I took this pullback into my already crossed over 100 right here that did do a double cross when it started up, but again, here's one that did the little red line in between. As long as I'm gaining my momentum back and my green line is back with me, I just take this as the red not even being there. And this is a very big high factor. This is a much higher factor than you might normally be on. But I thought Cat was going to hold here, and I went ahead and took my position the day before. And then the 50. This is today's action, and this was yesterday's action. We had actually day traded this short, but as it turned, I was watching that 100, and I went ahead and got long. Now, what it did the next day, this is your day break. It ran up, and what did it do? It retraced and rejected, just like it was supposed to do. And then it turned and continued up. Now it's got up above and pretty much closed with the force with it. I like the force being there. It's got the yellow ones back, so I'm expecting the next trading day for this to go back down and visit this. It could gap down into that line. I actually have alerts for that, because if it gaps into that line, I'm going to day trade that immediately if it don't fail. And I also want to be watching that because my positions are pretty profitable right this moment, but I'm trying to ride this out for over a week is what I'm hoping is going to happen. If it don't, I don't want to give back all my profit if it sells off for some crazy news related item or something like that. And that's all the zone alerts that are built into the intraday. This moves us over to the bull and bear zones. I mentioned earlier that I come over and actually load this one up in the middle of the afternoon, and I actually take mine and rename them. If you want to use the entire group here as a whole and not scale it down for your personal my space, you can take these and do a right click and say rename, and then rename this FAV in front. Make sure you get the blue highlight part gone, and then you can click apply. And if there's a couple of these that are your favorites, you can kind of mark them in that manner, and that way you'll make sure you're on the right ones each morning or when you come back in. Of course, you'd have to save it, and you want to save it when those symbols loaded, remember. And I'm going to go ahead and save that. On this platform, I use another computer for my trading, and I already have it named Fave on mine. Now these all work off the time frame that they state, and they're looking for the bull zone breakout, bear zone breakdown, and or the double blue X getting momentum. These scans are set, the alerts, it's a bull zone break and bear break both directions, and it has to have the two blue ones have to be true, and then we cross below the bear zone level and it causes it to trigger. It also requires that one of these be switching from yellow to blue, not both. And the reason we do that is because sometimes we want them to both be blue when we get here. That's what we've got built in, that they're both blue at the time. But we have it built in if it's going down. Sometimes you may already have a little short bias or long bias where the lower blue on a short bias may already be there, and then the upper blue joins as the breakdown occurs instead of the double like this one did. This one did a double crossover when the breakdown here occurred. I like the double crossover better because it implies breaking consolidation more. Sometimes you'll get a break. This one was already above, well, I don't know where the bull zone was at the time. This is today's candle. This is the bull zone, bear zone level right now today, close of this candle. Changes every day. So you can just see if you're getting a breakout, you can see if you're staying above it as you're in that trade. So if it comes up above the bull zone, it's above that line. And you want to maintain above that line. 2 or 3 days would be a great breakout coming out of consolidation. You'll get that. And that's what you had here when this sold off. You got a double X crossover and it sold off for days. Now sometimes in the case where this was going up, it had the blue one already at the top and the blue one shifted to the bottom. That's how we have that built in that scanner. If it crosses the bull zone, we want one of them to be shifting from yellow to blue, and that's how that is maintained. So it can be a double cross, or it can be one joining the other at the time of the cross. And we also run this on the Intraday report, just a momentum indicator, a gain, which this would be if you're running up and you're a blue one and you get the blue one shifting to the bottom, you're gaining momentum in that upward direction. So we also have scans that actually look for that. And then you can take that double X cross on your intraday trading. That's what it's looking for, momentum breaks. But it's looking for it on the algo charts, because when you're watching these stocks that are like this is running down and you're waiting on it to cross over and go up, as it wiggles around, sometimes it changes the trigger price, and many times the double X lines up perfectly with the trigger price to go red to green. So we just have a double X alert to help you get back to that stock that you might have been watching earlier. It's not made to put big list in. It's made to put focus stocks in your trading platform. Now we have 15 and 30 minute. This is an excellent opening day scanner. That don't mean the candle doesn't have big wicks in it. The first 5 or 10 minutes it's going crazy. Sometimes like you get it the open, but it's showing you that it's breaking into the bull or bear zone intraday at the open, which is pretty much means it's coming out of maybe a 2-day consolidation, maybe a stock that's already running up. It could be a stock that's in the bull zone on the daily and actually has base for a few days, and so the 30-minute chart has consolidation, and when it breaks into the bull zone at the open, you end up having a big run up in the first few hours of the day. But when you get the bull zone break and you get the double X crossover out of consolidation, it generally will be a multi-bar move. Once you get into that trade, if you're on a 30-minute, as long as you maintain that blue one, if you're long, the blue one to the bottom side, you're still gaining momentum. You may have a red bar, but you are still in an upward momentum gain. Try to stay with the trade if that's how you took the trade. Once the blue one on the bottom fades away, if you're in an uptrend, then the momentum of the uptrend is slowing. That don't mean it's stopping, that means it's slowing. And vice versa, if you're in a downtrend, as this was coming down, you had 2 blue ones all the way. And then what happened? The upper blue one went away. So the momentum to the downside lessened. It could have continued on down. In this case, it didn't. So use that as a guide on whatever one of these you're watching it on. Now, if you're running our bull and bear zone alert package that doesn't do the algorithms, this requires real-time data. Some of you are running on free end of day, and you can run this on free end of day and not even have to pay for a data plan and run the daily scan. And we have a lot of people that watch the videos and that's all they run is the daily setups. But if you want to run it intraday, you have to have real-time data. That don't mean you have to have a data package. If you go over to our website, activetradersetups.com, click on Contact Us, request a charting package free trial. On this page, there's a link right here where it talks about Kinetic. There are many options available to use with NinjaTrader. And you click this link right here and it'll take you to their page that talks about that. And here are those options. And it tells you if they have historical tick data as well. Now, I have tried this one for historical tick data and my charts were missing data all the time. And when I switched over to Kinetic or IQ Feed is Kinetic, you get good historical tick data. Interactive Brokers doesn't have that, but it has real-time data. So all of these plans, some of them you might be paying for and already have, and others you just may have it come out of your brokerage account, and you can tie it into Ninja. TD Ameritrade is very popular, and Interactive Brokers. You can tie it into Ninja and actually run the 15-minute, 5-minute charts and so forth. You can't run the tick data. Now, I've been told that Interactive Brokers doesn't have the tick data. But this right here, they do have it. You just have to record it. They don't have tick data. But there's a way to set this up and use TD Ameritrade to actually plot the algo charts. You just can't add symbols. You can't take a random symbol and add it and look at a chart. It takes days and days and days and days to build data to plot these charts. But you there is a way to set it up. You cannot miss a day of having your platform open and connected, because it's recording the data as the day goes by. You have to have it open. You have to have a watch list for symbol build in there, where it's constantly pulling that data in and recording it all day long. You also have to set some certain settings up. But you can actually plot these charts off of free data from TD Ameritrade. But if you decide you want to look at a new chart, a new symbol, that's not going to be available to you. But it does work on the 15-minute and the 30-minute and all those we were looking at. They will work on these charts. So with our plan where you're going to run the bull and bear zone alerts, it's our $39 package. You can do, with one of these free hookups, you can do the 15-minute, the 30-minute, 5-minute, 10-minute, as well as the end of day. If you don't have one of those data feeds, then you can only do the end of day on the daily and the weekly, and you do that just with the built-in kinetic free end of day data. You can test this while you're using the platform, and be sure to test these 5 and 10-minute bear zones and 30-minute bear zones, some of the alerts, and I use these every day. Some of the alerts that you're interested in learning about, experiment with it, and then if you decide you just don't comprehend this, you don't want to trade it, if you're swing trading, this is an excellent source. You will get this alert way before you will get this alert. Or like on a daily move could be a huge move before you ever get a daily bull zone alert, but you'll get this alert way before. It only takes one good trade to pay for a whole lot of actually years of service. But here's your 30-minute daily intraday bull zone. This one is trending. That means it's the same thing as over here. Now if you were running one of these free plans I was talking to you about, this won't work. This one does the 15 and 30 minute and takes in the 25, the 50, and the 100. Has to be in an uptrend for it to show up on the alert. So it'd be kind of like running this at the open. Say, okay, I want to see the bull zone breaks out of the consolidation on the 15 and 30 minute charts, but I only want to see it on a chart that's in a true uptrend. It's already broke, so I feel stronger about taking the trade because I already know this is in my favor. That's what adding trending does. You don't do both, you just do one of the two. Then you have a 30-minute and a 60-minute. A lot of people like to use that for setting up swing trades. And then you have the 30-minute and the 60-minute with the trending added. Then we have our daily bull and bear zone break and weekly here that are intraday. The end of day report finds you stocks that broke into the bull zone and the factors we were talking about on the blue ones. This is intraday as it happens. That don't mean it closes the day there. But intraday, if you get that stock breaking out on the daily, it could be setting up for a multi-day run, especially if it's coming out of consolidation. So it's not a bad scan to run, and there's not a lot that show up every day. If you run 500 symbols in here, you'd have to have, of course, 500 symbol list or data plan. Or if you were on one of those free plans, you could run a lot more symbols in here. If you're trying to day trade and you're running this 15 and 30 minute back up here, you don't want 500 symbols in there. You'll never figure out what stock to trade. You need to be on a shorter list. But on this daily bull zone and weekly, you could go in here and actually turn the weeklies off if you don't want to do the weeklies. They're built in the system, and you can go in here on weekly and disable. So I don't want to know about the weeklies. It won't give you no alerts. It won't clog up your system. It'll, in your alert log, that's what I mean by clog it up. It'll just do the daily bull and bears. If you don't like to take shorts, then turn the bear zone off. Just scan for the daily bull zone break. Another thing here is the double X crossover. You don't want to turn this off. And what this does, and you could actually take any one of these. Let's say you want to take the double X crossover and go down and add a sound to it. I don't have any sounds in this big setup here. But if you want a sound only on that, that's a great one to add a sound to. When you get this double X crossover, it don't tell you what direction. You got to look at the chart to figure that out, but you'll know when you look. That's a good alert, because see, that can pick up, it don't have to be in a bull zone. It can be in any consolidation and finally getting enough momentum to come out with a double X crossover. So that's a great alert to run intraday, just that one alone, if you don't want to see all the bull zone alerts, or you can have that set up with sound. Now, if you need more information about those bull zone breaks, they're in video 4, about the first 20 minutes. I talk a lot about this setup, so you may get a little more information there. The next scans is in our end of day. We look for stocks like this one. We look for a stock that, this would have been yesterday, not today. It looks for a stock that opened the day green on this one. Open red zone crossover. From open, it's a red zone crossover, which means it's headed south. So it was green at the open and it was red at the end of the day. So yesterday, Caterpillar would have showed up in this scan on a 50 algo chart as changing color intraday. This is designed for you to set up a watch list for that stock that goes back and retest and then sells off. It's also designed because to scan for it intraday, it can only find it the moment it happens. And that's what this is doing. But at the end of the day, the other setup and the other one in video 4 that talks about the end of day scanners, it'll look for this condition and find it right here at the end of the day. It don't have to be live. We have that custom built indicator that'll go back and look from yesterday's close to any time to during today's close. So, but this is live intraday when this happens. So when this actually printed 137.25 at 11:30 a.m. right here yesterday or day prior to what I'm making this video, this triggered the short alert. It went up and tested and pulled back down and went out about another $1. Then it gave a bounce, and many times when they first print, and we do teach you if it's over 3 all goes deep, and this is from here to there is 2, because each algo is connected with a hash line between the dots. When you have a reversal, it's 2 levels to reverse. So it was 2 levels back down, so that's 2, 3, 4 when it got right here. You can also just mouse over, look in your box right out here. There's the value of the close, 137.25 of that plot dot. Also, it gives you the trend shift line, 139.55. Well, it wasn't 55 at the time. Right here it was 139.25. Excuse me, I'm in the wrong place. 139.55, it was correct. So you can see how far down below you were from that line. 139.55 is the line. You're at 137.25, and that's more than $1.50 below. So it's likely to pull back. That don't mean you can't go ahead and take it, but it's very likely to make this pullback. And a lot of times when they make this pullback, they head on down for a much deeper run. In this case, the bigger picture held this stock there. Always be aware of where your next level up is. A bigger algo, because I like to honor that bigger trend many times. And I did. I actually got long this stock during this right here, because I felt like I had two things in my favor. I was expecting the retracement, and this was at 9:30 this morning. This gapped into this line. It pulled back for 10 minutes and it turned back up. So when it gapped into this line, my options I bought yesterday were very attractive because I was in the money on both of them. This pullback I watched. I didn't exit my plan. I wanted it to do what it did, but I didn't know for sure it was, so I'm watching it right here. If it goes on down, starts falling, I just get out of my options. I make my profit, and I've give back some, of course, on the pullback, but I still got a little money made. So I was very much on this at the open. I didn't know for sure it was going to gap into it, but I knew it was going to revisit it just based on what the chart's supposed to do, and it does this many times. So from the open, when this occurs, the crossover, it'll send that alert out. Precisely exactly what's on this chart. That it crossed the zone. Now what it does do is it requires that it was green at the open, to where your zone crossover scan, it could do this multiple times during the day. Okay? Now choppiness. This will only show up if it started the day green and went red during the day. The one before that says from open green zone crossover. From open is the key here. From open it wasn't green and it crossed over during the day. Where your first alerts up here pick up the crossovers here, but if it crossed green, red 4 times today, it's going to pick it up all 4 times. This one does not. It only picks it up if it started the day opposite from where it just switched over to. So from the open green zone crossover, it was red at the beginning of the day, now it's green. From the open red zone crossover, green beginning of the day, now it's red. And these have the 10, 25, 50, and 100s. So these are good swing trade alerts you're looking for. Again, the 10s are turned off. They're built in, but they're not enabled. I'm going to skip all the way over to the far right hand side and back up. This is a quick advance retracement. If you're trying to load some stuff up and you don't have a lot of time to wait on all this stuff to load, this will look for retracements. What is a retracement? A retracement is a stock that's in an uptrend and it's pulling back toward that same uptrend. It hadn't breached it. It's pulling back to it. That's a retracement. This is a retracement, but it's not looking at all the criteria that's in this retracement setup over here. It's only looking at the fact that it did pull back and it is in an uptrend. That's all this looks for on these alerts that are built into this. So if you're running this in the day, or you want to load it up and you don't want to overbuild your system in the afternoon because it's trying to find too many other things, you can load right here some symbols and it'll do the 25, the 50, and the 10. These retracements have to be loaded symbols per tab, 100, the 50, and the 25, because there's much more criteria being factored in to this retracement. It places a lot more emphasis on many things, and we talked about all these things in the Intraday video when we discussed this. But what it's looking for is it's taking the value, of course, of the green line. It wants us to be above it. If it's a retracement, it's still above it. It's taking the pullback. How far have we pulled back from the top toward the line? And it don't mean it's on the line, but it has a minimum pullback required to go off on the alert. And it looks at these levels here as well. And it also looks to see if there's a box on the chart. It doesn't look to see if it's a 2x box, because it could be pulling back right here and be telling you if it drops 2 more factors, it'll turn it red to green. It does look for a 1x box. It looks for the fact that the 1x box is not there. So if there's no box at all, or if it's a 2x box, it'll still find the trade. If there's not a box at all and you find yourself on a stock that's pulled almost all the way to the line, it's generally in this early crossover. You get the crossover, and if you get that early pullback, many times there's not a box at all, saying that if it drops 2 more factors, like this is saying 2 more factors up, it's going to turn it green. It's not telling you that, so it's a higher probability to go back in the other direction and rejoin the trade, the prevailing trend that we just got off into. That's on the first pullback. It can pull back other times, and that can be true as well. In that stock, it's in a real still steady uptrend. But it will, that's part of that scan. All that's built into that. So that's why these are loaded individually to send that information out. This is live intraday. And again, this is just a quick retracement, but you can, if you decide you want to run some of these in the middle of the day and you want to see them on the 50s and the 25s, you won't do the hundreds, because the hundreds are too much of a stress on the system middle of the day to be loading your symbols up in the middle of the day, not pre-market. Now, if you just want to load these pre-market, you can. But if I were going to load them pre-market, I'm more interested in the 50 retracement and the 100 retracement. I'm not real interested in the 25 retracement. But if you're trading smaller ATR stocks, and this is defined that way, SMATR, medium ATR, or bigger ATR, either one. But I don't really want to run this on high dollar stocks. You're going to get too many alerts for you to be able to figure out which one to trade. And that's why I have that labeled small ATR stock, medium ATR stock. That covers everything but this last one right here. Again, mark your favorites as you learn what to use, and then at some point you may take and say, okay, I only want to open this thing up with 4 tabs. You can take this same exact layout. You can go up here and say save as, name it exactly what it is, put the word my in front of it, and you've created your medium ATR scan tabs. And then you can go through here and just take out scan tabs. Just totally delete them, the ones you don't want to use. You want to make sure you mark the ones you want to use before you do this. You can also, if you're on low ATR stocks, you want to do that with the other platform, the other workspace that started as intraday small ATRs, because it won't have these 100s in none of these columns. It'll be the smaller, it'll have the 10, the 25, maybe even a 5. It'll have lower ATR algos for you already built in. Last one we need to cover is this advanced zone plan ahead. Now I have an advance in the intraday actual trading platform that's not as detailed as this is, but it's looking for stocks that have run up above a red line or run down below a green line. This is the same scan, but it's more detailed. That's for a very short list of stocks that you might be watching. Again, the 10 is turned off. It's actually labeled in here for low ATRs. 25 is on, 50 is on. And what this is looking for, it says set up long watch on red. That's your message that comes across in your alert log. It'll tell you the source in this column was advanced zone plan ahead, and the alert will actually come across and say the symbol, and then it'll say the name here, which is F50, that's factor 50 algo, advanced setup long watch on red. And then it'll also say plan ahead alert. All that information will be right up here. This is really planning ahead, and if you're swing trading, I want to get that much advance noticed. And this is my favorite end of day scan right here. I want to see, this is what I'm looking for, advance plan ahead. I have advanced above this falling red line, and if this stock doesn't gap down, go way down here, something crazy, then we're going to open in the morning. We may gap down into this line and head right back up. In that case, you can set you an alert. I would want it above the line. It may not come right back to it. It will come very close, because what's supposed to happen is exactly, I saw it on one of the charts I was looking at a few minutes ago, where you get the run, this right here. This is it. It goes down. It's advanced plan ahead. It's below. You can do this intraday. That's what this is doing, intraday. You can do an end of day one as well from the other workspace, but this is intraday. It finds this stock as it does this. You don't jump in it short. You wait on the retracement. I love this trade. That's why I will take some things early. If I really like my trend, and then I can truly have a trend shift setting up here, it's not a flat sideways chop, it's a trend, then I can take this short right here. And this is how early this was in that particular day. This was the day before at 10 o'clock. This was the end of the day at 4 o'clock. Then it next morning, 9:30, 9:30, 9:30, 9:30, it gapped down. This is where it opened at. It went straight back up in 3 minutes, hit this line, and then turn around and head it down. Now it took it to get from here to here, took 20 minutes. That's $1, but it took it 20 minutes. So this was the quick open. And if you're staring at the stock, I love this setup. I'm going to go short. You look at some other things on your 1 minute, 5 minute charts. You let the big wicks get out of the way. They may still be going on, and somewhere along here you get in this stock if you want to trade it early. I like the fact that the force was down, and generally if I got the force down, it can be intraday. It don't have to be at the open. I trade expected price action off these. So if I get it right here, I'm not scared to get in it on the short side. And I know if my confidence, and this is on a 50 algo, if you're on a 25 you can apply the same principle. Many times I will take a trade based on something just like this, and I will say I do not believe it's going to advance enough to make another dot. Where's the next dot going to be plotted at? If this is a 50 algo chart, it's going to be 50 cents higher. I don't have to figure that out. It's right here in this box. This is mainly for retracements to tell you what the value will be once it confirms turning back up. We leave this on the chart at all times because it gives you information. It gives you the plot of the last closed algorithm. It tells you the exact price for the next algorithm if it continues up, and if it reverses, it tells you the exact price for the reverse. So I know that the exact price if it comes down is 138.24. Well, where's that lining up with? Right here with your red line. So you can use that information to set your alerts off of, but you see it's there for you. You don't have to figure it out. So right now I know in the morning, the day after I'm making this recording, if this does go down and revisit this line, and I expect it to either go green all the way up to 140.25, it could gap up. It could open right here and run up and then come back and visit the green line. It's already turned it. Or it can come back and visit this red line before it goes green. I don't know which one it's going to do, but I know 138.24 is the next plot down. That's going to line up right with this line. It may get super close to this line right before they open, or right after they open, not actually plot down and turn and go back up and just continue straight on up. Take out the 140, turn it green, and run $4. It don't have to print that next level down and test this line, but it could get within 8 or 10 cents of it, and I still want to know about it. And I've actually got this set up on an alert for the next day's business. After I'm making this recording, I have alerts down here way before this, but if this stock runs down, I want to be looking at it because I know what I'm expecting it to do. That concludes the end of this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you've been learning something. Any questions you guys have, and girls, send the questions in. There's no dumb questions. If you're just totally lost, you can send me an email. We have the gathering room that we just different people talk about trades and setups during the day, but you can pop in there, give me a private message. I need some help. I can get you in a private room, and I can help you there, or we can set up a one-on-one session. I use another room for that, and we can get in and I can share some charts with you and answer some questions. That concludes Best Practices for Charting Package Tutorial Series Video 5, Intraday Workspaces, Scanners, Alerts, Setups, and Charting, part of our education and training series of videos. Thanks for watching. If you're not a member or subscriber to our services, go over to activetradersetups.com. You can read about it under products. You can read about the free trial offer under Contact Us, and get in touch with us and watch. We have a lot of videos out that just talks about this chart movement in itself. Watch those videos, and more charts you watch, the better you learn to trade. Whether you're a subscriber or not, watch those videos, and you may find that you need this service.